and Stacey said, I want another franchise. Let's open a business. And I was like, I don't know about that. And she's like, no, you're going to be great at this. You're going to love it. We're going to open a restaurant. And I said, okay. The hardest business to start and maintain? Absolutely. That sounds like a great challenge.
Welcome to Brew Talks. I'm Steve Stroud. I'm president and CEO of Roswell, Inc. We're the economic development organization in the city of Roswell, bringing good businesses to your community. I am so honored today to have these two ladies in our studio. Welcome, Stacey and Shannon. You're going to hear the story. They have two businesses located in the same shopping center on top of that. So we're going to hear a lot about Buff City Soap.
Yes.
And we're going to hear a lot about Knuckies, our new favorite sandwich shop in Roswell.
You.
So welcome to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. We're so happy to be here today.
Thank you. Well, talk to us a little bit about your past. How did you land in Roswell?
Well, Roswell came on my radar many years ago when my sister and her husband moved here. And I was working in South Florida. I'm a retired firefighter and flight medic with a few years in law enforcement as well. And so when I needed a break from Naples, Florida, I would come up here for a vacation, and it was just always so beautiful and so peaceful. And I knew that this is where I wanted to live one day. So when I decided it was time to retire, I was looking into businesses to buy, and I knew that I wanted to start one specifically in Roswell.
That's fantastic, because usually it's the opposite. People leave here to go retire in Florida, especially Naples. Great area. Marco
beautiful.
Island, know all about that. Love that area.
It is beautiful, but I'm a mountain girl.
Well, we're glad that you came up and retired here. And you're not even remotely ready for retirement. So let's just say that up front. So,
I think I've got a few good years.
You gotta be, absolutely.
I'm needing her to have a few more good
Yes, you are, right? So tell me the story.
Absolutely.
So you decided to take retirement and get into Buff City, and you bought into that franchise.
Yes, Buff City was actually started by a friend of mine, a former coworker at Collier County EMS, and he moved to Memphis and started making soap in his garage.
Whoa.
And he managed to turn just a hobby into a franchised business. So he came back down to Naples and he showed the concept to a few of us, and I was enthralled. I just thought it was wonderful. And a friend of mine started first, and so I went and worked in her store for several months, from build out to being open for business, and learned everything I could about the business. And I said, I think I can do this. And so I started scouting real estate locations here in Roswell. I drove back and forth a lot. And
Up 75, there's only one way to go.
so I found the location that I wanted in the Roswell Corners shopping center. And it was available, and it was the right square footage, and everything just kind of came together. So I retired, and I cashed in my retirement and rolled it into the business.
That's awesome. Well, Roswell Corners, every shopping center in Roswell has something that says Roswell. So for those that aren't familiar, Roswell Corners is the Target shopping center out on 92 and King Road, or 92 and Mountain Park Road.
Mountain Park.
So just for clarity, but busy shopping center. As you may know, that is our second busiest shopping center in the city of Roswell. So that's a little key important thing that we follow monthly, is not just the number of people that roll through the shopping center in a vehicle, but the amount of cell phone activity in that and how long they stay.
Interesting.
So in your shopping center, for example, the average stay is 28 minutes. So that gives you an idea how long they're in your shopping center, grabbing a Chick-fil-A, driving through, stopping at Stems, grabbing some soap, hopefully going over to Knuckies. We're going to talk about that in just a second. So those are some of the data points that we use to track to see what kind of businesses need to move into the area. So again, just a little tidbit for everybody. That's one of the side things that we do on a regular basis, working with brokers, commercial brokers, and then also working with franchisors that are looking at those opportunities.
I did not know that. That is interesting information.
Isn't that crazy?
Right, absolutely.
Crazy. And it's not that we know that Shannon rolled into Knuckies or Lucky's, either one, right? But we know a cell phone that left a destination, came to that area and stayed in that area for a period of time. And we know how much that period of time is because then it's averaged out. We do the same thing for Canton Street. We'll do the same thing with Southern Post as it gets up and rolling. We do it for the Connection Shopping Center on the east side of 400. So it's a great way for us to connect and understand what the buying patterns are, the travel patterns, not just traffic patterns, but foot traffic patterns.
Right.
And that it helps also when we see dips. What does that indicate? For example, and I share this with you, this is really about you guys, but I think it's important. When the Chick-fil-A was being renovated last summer of 23, we saw a tremendous dip in that shopping center. And part of that was because of Chick-fil-A, just the number of folks that
I would be interested to look at that data just on a day-by-day basis, because there's days that we look outside and go, it's going to be a slower day today, and just watching the traffic.
It's pretty interesting.
It
North
is very
Fulton,
interesting.
It is, and you know, some of the things that we look at, and we can predict just because we can look at the calendar. Fall break. If fall break is coming,
yes.
you know. If spring break is coming, if it's summer, holidays traditionally in North Fulton are slower times for retailers and restaurants because people leave.
People travel. That's one of the conversations we've had in different areas of retail that we've worked when we were, much younger. You would say, "Oh, it's a holiday; it's going to be a big shopping day." But
Just
that's
the
what I was
opposite in
telling
North
Stacey.
The
I said,
opposite here.
I'm a
Absolutely.
Everybody goes out of town.
teacher by
Everybody
trade. I
leaves
said,
somewhere.
they're traveling. They're not going to be here. She's like, oh, well, should we be open on that day? It's like, no, they're not just closed this day. The schools are also going to be closed 2 more days,
That's
which
right.
means
It
they're
has
out,
an
out
effect.
and about.
That's right. Monday
So
and
we
Tuesday
can
will be
schedule
slow also.
accordingly.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So tell us about, obviously, Buff City's been up and running now for how many years? 3?
We
4?
opened the day the state shut down in April of 2020
That's
for
right.
COVID.
Yes.
That's right.
So we had a little bit of an uphill climb.
You did.
To kind of cold market in a way that we could reach out to people without trying to reach out to people.
Right.
So that was very interesting. So we've been there for a while now,
That's
and
great.
I know the shopping center well, and I just knew, given that data that you track, that let me know that it was an excellent location to start another business.
It reinforces. Well, so
She
talk-
persevered, though. She persevered. That was
did.
a hard time.
for everybody.
Right,
It
for
really
everyone,
was.
absolutely. But
And I
for-
think that's an interesting because the shopping center groups came together.
the community as a
community
whole, that is one
rallied.
of the things that we talk about on the regular, is the community support that you receive in Roswell. If you're opening a new business, or if you have a business of any length of time, people come together,
Yeah.
and they really do support you, and they really do care that that
It
you're
matters.
thriving as well.
It
Exactly.
matters.
I love that about
You're
Roswell.
just not another number, and
Right.
we don't ever want to be in that situation. So tell us about Knuckies. Now,
All right.
Shannon, how did you get
Let's
involved?
see. So I'm a teacher by trade. So I moved up here. My children are grown. I have all adult children. Everyone's doing well, thriving. I was originally from Dothan, Alabama. So about 3 years ago, I moved up here just to see if this is where I wanted to be as well. My sisters and my mother are here. And so I'm teaching, and I love it. But there's just, you kind of hit a time where you go, things are changing. I wonder what else is out there. And Stacey said, I want another franchise. Let's open a business. And I was like, I don't know about that. And she's like, no, you're going to be great at this. You're going to love it. We're going to open a restaurant. And I said, okay.
Oh,
The hardest business to start and maintain? Absolutely. That sounds like a great challenge.
do it.
You're
Let's do
crazy
it.
as a bed bug. and it took me a little while, and I thought, what do I have to lose? What if I do? What if I do try it? What if we do have this new challenge? What if it goes great? So I started with what if it really works out well? And I said, well, Stacey, I don't know certain things, and you've already done a franchise, and I'm not familiar with how to do that. She's like, it's okay. I'm going to take care of these parts. You take care of those parts, and I'm telling you, we can make this work. And so we found our location, which was formerly a pizza place, and they've got this massive oven in there, and it had just been left, and it had just been left. And she's like, this is it. And I said, oh Lord, what are we going to do with this
It
place?
was a mess. We had
It was
a
a
big
mess,
to
but-
clean up, but we did it.
But that's been one of the beautiful things. Like, you go into something and you find the diamond in the rough, and
Right.
we had a
Shine
great
it up.
build out, met some new people. We've got great neighbors. And so we just got busy. So I was finishing my last year of teaching, so I would teach and then I would come to the store. So that was a little bit taxing at the startup, but I've absolutely loved it. So
So tell us about the Knuckies concept. That's just a unique story.
that's back to you, Stacey.
I discovered Knuckies, and it was because of Buff, actually. They put a location next to the Buff City Soap in Peachtree Corners, which is owned by a friend of mine. And she called me up and she said, oh my gosh, there's this new sandwich shop next door to my store, and you have to check it out. It's really, really good. And I said, well, what is it? And she said, it's Knuckies Hoagies. So, of course, I immediately go online. I look at the menu, and I was like, wow, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And I see that
She's a
there's...
foodie.
Foodie.
I love to eat.
And this is a foodie town.
Definitely all about food. So I found the location in Milton, which turned out to be the original location. And we went and we ate there. And I said, well, this is really good. The menu has some delicious options
Secret
on
shopper.
it. Secret shopper.
I
You
love
got to
it.
do your
I love it.
research. And I just went back online and I put in a query for, buy a franchise with us, because they had just started franchising locations. And I immediately got an answer back and started to do my research and started talking. And then I went back and forth a little bit because I wasn't sure. I knew it would be a big commitment. I knew it would be very risky move. And so I would be all in, and then I'm like, no, I'm not sure I want to do that.
So then she'd come over and talk me up.
then I,
It's going to be great.
Let's do it.
if I could
Let's
talk
do it.
somebody else
Come on.
into it, it would be okay.
We'll all jump off.
Luckily, we're adventurous people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What could go wrong?
So after about a year of just really thinking about it and doing a lot of praying about it and trying to decide if this was a move that we wanted to make,
Right.
we went ahead and committed. And then, of course, the leasing process and all of the things that make you want to tear your hair out. But you forget about it in the end.
That's right.
You go through it all, and it's very challenging and frustrating, and it's so worth it when those doors
So worth
open and
it's rewarding. It is. And when you see people and they're coming in and you start recognizing, oh, you're coming by because your daughter has ballet tonight. Oh, gosh, let's get that Cuban for your son because I know he's going to be done with baseball. So when you start making those personal connections, it
Means
really does.
everything.
It really does make it all worth it. And, you find your strengths and weaknesses, and we're trying to build our relationship with the community. And that's
And you're doing a great job
That's
at
the
that.
biggest part for us is we don't want to just be a store
Right.
that you come and get a hoagie
sandwich.
at.
Yeah.
We want to be a part of the community. So we want to
Fabric.
support other businesses. We want to support the school systems, and so we just see a lot of different ways that we can participate, and we're happy to do so.
Well, I think, being an entrepreneur as I was for 30 plus years in this city, I see exactly what we talked about earlier, and that
Yes.
is that sense of community, right? And the sense of community in the business community. And the thing that is driving your success is that you're operators in the store. People can put a name and a face, and you get up every morning passionate about your business. You're not an absentee owner. And that makes a
Right.
huge difference. People feel that when they walk through the door of an establishment, that the owner is there, right? Whether they're physically there that moment or they're there because it's the team around them, right?
We think that's
So-
so important. We really do.
It's key. And long-term success, the world of franchises say, have X amount of units and create this. And that's great, but that's also a different model than where you're at, because
Yes.
in the end of the day, you can go in and talk to you about soap. We can go talk to you about a platter of sandwiches and what
Yes.
that looks. That makes a big difference. And we talked about staffing before we got on air. And,
Yes.
that's a challenge, but nobody has as much passion as you do when you walk through the door every day. And that
Exactly.
just resonates throughout a business. And it's clear in both of yours. You, unbeknownst, helped me on a tremendous opportunity when I was needing an anniversary gift, and we put together a basket. So you got me out of the doghouse quickly.
I am
Amy
so
didn't
glad to hear that.
Yes, you did, and you didn't even know it. So that was right after the pandemic, or yeah, pretty much. So thank you.
You are welcome.
You didn't even know it, but thank you. So
It is so important to me, and it is so important to Shannon that when people come in, they don't feel like they're just another number walking through a door of another anonymous
right.
place where nobody knows you. I want them to feel like they're part of family, and that it's just a place that they belong. And I
it's
love that when people
comfortable.
come in, they tell me, you know, oh, I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
This makes me happy. Or, you know, to see families returning again and again to Knuckies to have lunch together, because they know it's a place that they can come and they
Right.
can sit, and there's plenty of room, and it's not just a, you know, narrow hallway Subway shop that they
Sure.
can walk into and
Anywhere in the country.
grab a sandwich
Right.
and then leave.
Right. Well, and we talked about, the amount of business you're doing on a Sunday. And that tells a lot about this community, right?
Absolutely. Very family oriented.
Very family oriented, very church oriented. Of whatever faith you believe in, it is truly that kind of sense. And you get that sense with the multicultural culture that we have here in Roswell.
Yes.
So, it's exciting to see what you're doing. It's exciting to see how it's growing. We're here to support you, and we want to make sure
Yes.
that you
Well, we've
guys.
felt that, and we've had this conversation. We've talked with Morgan about that, and anytime that we come to an event, a networking event, to meet more people, everyone is just so welcoming, and it speaks to the community, and we want to be a part of that. We're excited to be a part of that.
Well, we're going to
makes it-
keep you very involved. So.
I know, I keep signing up for things.
That's
Golf
good.
tournament, absolutely.
That's right. There's always
Register
something
for
around
tennis,
the corner.
yes, I'll do it. Yeah, I'm
Well,
loving it. This is great.
I say this to entrepreneurs, it's not easy, right? There are a lot of scary moments. You put your investment in, and I always tell people, look, this is my livelihood. This is how I feed my kids. This is how my kids go to college. Luckily,
Yes.
all my kids are gone, right?
They're grown.
We're in
they're
the same
grown.
boat, right?
Yes, they're grown, but I still have to eat too.
But that's right. Don't forget me.
Right.
And at the end of the day, when you can give back like you're doing in a way that grows you all, your business and you personally, it's such a that's the success story.
Right there, it's the total package.
Yes.
It's being a part of the community, not just
100%.
taking. It's the giving back.
100%.
That's where the growth is.
So if you haven't been to either one, you better go, because I can tell you, great products at Buff City, great products, excellent sandwiches, and we get them on a regular basis.
You do, and we
do.
appreciate
We
that.
like those. Yeah.
We do. Oh, can
I
we
like
just?
the mini. I like the
The
mini.
mini's a good sized portion now, and for some of our friends who think, oh, well, I can't go there because I'm gluten free, we have gluten free bread.
Yes.
We have beautiful salads. We can take care of you.
Take really good care of you. Well, thank you both ladies for coming in today and sharing your story, sharing your success, and know that we're here and the community is glad you're here. So
Thank you,
welcome.
Steve.
And
Thank
we
you
always
so
say
much.
Thank you.
it's a great day to do business in Roswell. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.